world was young, the mountains green, no stain yet on the moon was seen.
Then with a crash came a great ringing shout. Ra, boom, ra.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie.
It's talking about Tolkien, Ben.
Talking about Tolkien, Nate. I accidentally lost my place in the book right before we started recording.
It's a bad time to be doing that.
It is a bad time to be doing that. So we're on chapter 2 of Return of the King, book 5. The Passing of the Grey Company.
We're going back to Merry and the rest of the gang. Mostly not Merry, though. Like, he's there at the beginning, and then he's going to go, and he's going to get his own chapter, I think.
You know, he's going to go do Merry stuff. Most of the chapters actually from Gimli's perspective.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, no, a solid chunk of it's from Gimli's perspective.
Finally. Am I right?
Finally.
Getting
because it's not
Gimli maniacs.
It can no longer be from Aragorn's perspective because we need a little suspense as to what Aragorn's doing.
Yeah, because he's confident he's ready to go.
Yeah, and nobody wants to be in Legolas's head.
Yeah, same. Yeah, he's gonna be perfectly recalling those trees, and it's like, God,
you know,
just
I gotta
be more like a man.
I got a slight gripe about that no one's going to care about and doesn't have anything to do with this. I was reading...
You and your goddamn non sequiturs, Ben.
No, this is a sequitur. It's a sequitur because it has to do with what you just said about the elf memory.
Well, stop it.
So that's a good segue into this thing that happened.
More like a segue.
So I was reading the history of Middle Earth, and I got to the drafts of the Llamas.
Is this the one that you were like, even you could not care?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he
all right.
Yeah, he beat me. I was really well, because one of the things that bothered me was like, in Lord of the Rings, he says that Legolas, and all elves can like perfectly remember everything. In the Llamas, he has like so many dialects of Elvish. He talks about like the Valar taught, like initially the elves spoke a variant of like Valerian, and
and they went on and they made that steel.
Yeah, but the reason the elves' speech drifts is like they like inventing new words and they form new dialects and stuff, but like then he describes their speech as sundered, and it because like their memory of the old language isn't as good as their memory of the new language. So like when they go back,
what?
Yeah, that was my thing.
But they had perfect memory.
Yeah, so did I. Until he needed to invent new languages. But the problem is elves aren't dying. So how are the languages getting sundered?
I just assumed that who cares?
No, because what he says is I remember what he said.
That's why this is about the age of man.
He said the Valar's language doesn't change because they can remember everything perfectly, which is why they don't have to write anything down either.
Okay.
The elves invent writing because the gods had no need for it.
Okay. Do the gods have to be physically present to talk with each other?
So I think at this point in the drafts, no, they don't, as far as the Silmarillion goes. But he played around with that idea of like,
okay. So I was gonna say what if you want to just send a message to someone? I don't want to go fly over there or whatever and talk with you in person. I just want to send you a message.
I think they do have to send a messenger.
Maybe that's why they had to go to war with Morgoth. They didn't send him a strongly worded message in the League of Nations.
Well, because like they don't know where he is for a lot of the time.
Huh?
He can hide.
Huh?
Yeah, he
How?
escaped.
He's got a giant army.
Well, okay. That's now we're getting. We'll be here all night.
Okay, all right. We'll save it for the Silmarillion when I go. Huh? How did they not know where he was immediately? He's got a giant fucking fortress full of Balrogs. But all right.
So he doesn't always. Like after he gets beaten the first time, and they put him in jail, but then they kind of let him out because everybody makes that mistake in this for some reason.
Yeah, sometimes you do a little bit of enslavement and genocide, and
yeah, he causes a civil war between the elves, and then he runs away.
It was a big whoopsie, guys.
And then they don't know where he is. Like they definitely didn't know that he and Ungoliant were about to bite into the tree.
Oh, that was after they released him.
Yeah, they tried to get him back, but
did you, an ankle monitor?
Yeah, they didn't have anything like that.
Yeah, they probably should have.
They had crazy fucking chains to bind him in, but that's a Norse thing. We gotta talk about this great.
Back to Merry.
Yeah,
and not Pippin, and Gimli and Legolas with his imperfect memory, and Aragorn, and Theoden.
Yep.
And were these people who are about to overtake them? So they're all riding. They're still riding back from beating up on Saruman.
Yeah.
And Theoden is going to marshal his people. You know, he's going to send them to Gondor. He hasn't said his famous "Where was Gondor when the Westfold fell?" I'm sure that's coming up soon. I'm sure he's going to be kind of a petty jerk ass for no reason. I'm sure that's coming. But did the movie cut out the Dunedain who are riding on horses and they're about to overtake this group, and it turns out like, hey, it's Aragorn's friends?
Yeah, no, they completely cut that out.
Okay, that's what I thought. I recall just the three of them going inside the spooky skeleton cave.
This is the movie.
Sound like a cave in the book. It sounds like a city.
I can
like a whole ass city, Ben.
I can help you with some of this.
Okay.
So, okay. So a couple of things. If the movie's confusing you,
yes.
Yeah, the Dunedain are cut from the movie. The Sons of Elrond are cut from the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I knew they weren't here. But elves did show up at the Battle of Helm's Deep.
No, they didn't.
In the movie.
Yeah.
Really taken away from this whole Age of Man thing. That's elf washing, and it disgusts me. They already have so much, and we're just going to give them credit. We're going to give them stolen valor for the Battle of Helm's Deep.
So somehow in the movie, Galadriel called Elrond and said, "Hey, I think we got to help them." And Elrond's like, "Fine." And then Galadriel's guy shows up.
This is a good point. To be fair, I did not know who that guy was or where he came from.
Yeah, no, he's the one who said the dwarf breathed so loudly we could have shot him in the dark when they were walking through the woods of Lothlorien.
Yeah.
No, so the Dunedain are cut. The Sons of Elrond are cut. And in the book... Oh, so in the movie, the timelines are all messed up.
Yeah,
because
I think Aragorn gets his sword around here. Is that right?
Which he's had the whole time.
Elrond delivers it personally.
Elrond personally delivers the sword, and then he looks around and he's like, "You need more men." And he's like, "There are no more men." And then Elrond's like, "You could try he says there are those who are under the mountain, and Aragorn's like, they can't be counted on, and he says they will answer to the king of Gondor, and he gives him the sword, and then he does the thing.
And then he's like, now you die, Mr. Anderson.
In the book, the sons of Elrond accompany the Dunedain. So
yeah,
the Dunedain of the North have come with the sons of Elrond to help Aragorn in his fight, help Aragorn reclaim his kingdom.
And kind of remind him about this path of the dead, right?
Yeah, so they come with a message. And the message that they bring is from Elrond. And Elrond says, the days are short. If thou art in haste, remember the paths of the dead. So I think there's two reasons in the book that Elrond needs to take the paths of the dead.
You're talking about Aragorn, not Elrond.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. Sorry. I'm trying to think as I talk. So there's two reasons Aragorn needs to take the paths of the dead. The first reason, he does want to collect the dead. The dead work very differently in the book. They don't just eat elephants.
Although I think we should all wish that they did, right? Like, pretty sick. The other reason, though, is that because Aragorn looked into the Palantir.
Yeah, he needs a shortcut.
He taunts Sauron, shows him his sword, which causes Sauron to act hastily and launch his offensive because he does not want this newly emerged King of Gondor with the sword that once fucked him up to show up in Gondor, rally the troops, and somehow pull a victory out of the jaws of defeat. And this is when Aragorn learns of the attack from the south and by the Corsairs. And he's like, we've got maybe 10 days before Gondor is cooked, fam.
He learns that so the first thing he does is he picks up the Palantir. He reveals himself, declares himself the heir of Elendil, as he is so fond of doing, shows him the sword.
He was just shouting it.
wrestles with Sauron mentally, but he is able to get the better of it because it's his by rights, and he's not an insignificant force in his own right.
Yeah.
I think this gives Sauron...
I don't need a ring to be at 100%, you bitch.
Well, and I think he's also playing into Saruman's defeat because Sauron sent the Nazgul to go get the ring. Or to at least go get the halfling, which he assumes Saruman has. He finds Saruman defeated, no halfling. Now,
and there's an awful lot of trees just hanging around.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden the heir of Elendil has decided he's powerful enough to reveal himself, and he beat me in mental combat. He has the ring.
He has the ring. Yeah. Definitely, I recall he'll use the Palantir again for sure to draw Sauron's attention, right? Pretty sure he does that, and then he marches off to the Black Gate, or am I misremembering things?
That definitely happens in the movie.
Okay.
That's when he uses it in the movie.
Maybe. Okay. Well, shit. I guess we'll both learn together, me and the audience who are reading along with us, because I do not have a lot of memories that aren't intermingled with the movie. So it's like I'm reading it all over again for the first time.
Yeah, no. So that's the first time. I believe this scene is transplanted to that point in the movie.
But yes, that would make sense that Sauron is like, oh shit, he's got the ring. I do not want him with the ring in Gondor.
Yeah.
Because in the book, as we've said many times, the ring doesn't necessarily just want to go to Sauron. It would just, if someone's stronger than Sauron and uses the ring, it would just be a different Dark Lord. Sauron can be replaced.
Yeah. And so
maybe it's time for King Elendil of Mordor. Or is he Elisar? I get these
Elisar.
confused. He's Elisar. And
So-
Elendil, he's the heir to Elendil?
he's the heir of Elendil. Yes.
Okay. Is Elendil Isildur's dad?
Yes.
Okay, got it. I got all these names. I will forget this in like 2 chapters, and I'll ask you all over again.
The names are tough. You got to read, I don't know how many thousands of pages of Tolkien I've read to get the names. The names are a little easier when you read it so much, you finally just start understanding the Elvish. But he also gets a gift from Arwen. And this is kind of where the movie, he gets a symbol of his kingship from Arwen. And in the movie, the symbol of his kingship is the sword. In the book, the symbol of his kingship is this thing Arwen made for him. And she gives him a message as well. Somewhat similar to her dad's. I actually just noticed this. If you remember, Elrond's message said, "The days are short. If thou art in haste, remember the paths of the dead." And then Arwen's message is, "The days are now short. Either our hope cometh, or all hopes end. Therefore I send thee what I have made for thee. Farewell, Elfstone," which is what Elisar means. And what she made...
That's not the only thing that's going to be cometh-ing. You know what I'm saying?
I knew you were going to do that. As soon as I heard myself say cometh, I was like...
You knew!
It's a matter of time. So she gives him a banner that is going to be...
God damn it. Okay, so you know what I did?
The white tree on a black field.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. The white tree on the black field banner. So you know what I did? I wrote Arwen, and then I was like, no, that's the chick from Rohan. That's the Shield Maiden. And I wrote Eowyn, so I confused them. God damn it. No. I had it right the first time.
You had it right the first time. Arwen the elf maid gave him his banner.
Okay. I went ahead and I just corrected my notes. I'll probably confuse those two again. At least there's not a dumb love triangle.
No, there's really not.
No.
That was one of the things the movie got me with, was I remembered Eowyn being a little bit more attracted to Aragorn. And like, I don't think she's not attracted to him, but that is not in any way, shape, or form her primary motive.
Yeah. And they did not interact in Helm's Deep at all because she wasn't there.
No, she doesn't even know that happened. Because that wasn't the plan. The plan was to ride out. Yeah. She's sitting in Edoras, no idea there was a big battle at Helm's Deep. That's in this chapter, and I appreciated that. So they finally rest, and Merry he sleeps until like noon, and Legolas is the one that wakes him up, and he's like, "Dude, get up!" And he razzes him, and Gimli's like, "Yeah, dude, we're already at Helm's Deep. I got this cave I want to show you. It's a really cool cave. And I'm going to show you all the places where I killed an orc. Oh, you see that body? It's kind of sticking, the hand sticking out of the ground. I did that one."
Yeah, Legolas actually has to be like, "Hey, rein it in. I promised you we'll go to those caves like after this is over. We don't got time right now."
He's like, if you could see the caves. Oh, such caves and crystals. They're kind of hanging out at Helm's Deep for a little bit. And Mary's like, "So these Dunedain, huh? These Dunedain. What's the deal with them?" And then there's like, "Who are those two like I'm just going to say it, confusingly handsome guys. Like, is anyone else confused? I mean, let's just be honest here. There's, no shame. Is anyone else discovering something about themselves right now?
Like, I'm still into women, but like for them, I might.
They look enough like women. Like, I don't know. But yes, they are, of course, Eladon and Elrohir, the sons of Elrond, who have joined the company of Dunedain because they want to fight with Elrond, which is the best brother-in-law you could possibly have, I think.
And they once again make it explicit why the elves aren't riding to war. War is coming to them. It's already there, actually.
Oh yeah, and which is why Arwen is saying it's not that, because that's the thing I see a lot of people are confused about in the movie, and to be quite honest with you, I'm confused about it in the movie. Is why Arwen, after she turns back, her fate is now bound to the fate of the ring. I'm guessing that's because she's made her in the movie. I think that's because Peter Jackson's implying she's made her choice.
Yeah, she's decided she's going to stay here in Middle Earth.
Well, no, I mean, like, she's made her like half elf choice. She's going human.
I don't think that at all, because they even mention that that Elrond was a half elf in the movie? Because that's something I didn't know until I reread this.
I don't remember if they mention it. I know in the extended cuts there's a bunch of mentions of the Valar and stuff.
Oh, that sounds like not great if you're cutting out a lot of stuff and you're adding that back in, but all right.
No, and I think when Arwen is praying over Frodo, she says something like, may the grace of the Valar protect you, or something like that.
Something like, it is a good day to die.
No, she doesn't say that. Good luck, Frodo.
A Klingon doesn't allow himself to be captured. Something like that.
But yeah, I guess Elrond is the one who said to the Dunedain that it was time for them to go to Rohan, that Aragorn's going to need some help. And they talk about, this is where they talk about Galadriel's also sending messages through Gandalf, because Gandalf went back to Lothlorien briefly after he was resurrected. And I think that's the conversation and the communication that the movie parlays into Elrond showing up. But part of the problem is that in the book, Arwen, her fate is bound to the fate of the ring, because if they don't destroy the ring, then Rivendell's going down. It's under siege right now. So they can't leave, really. Like Elrond's not making it out to give people swords. Galadriel's fighting a full-blown war. That's a big difference. Just the political situation is a big difference. This is also a little bit of a transplanted scene from the book where Gimli and Legolas are going to be going with Aragorn.
Yep.
And the Dunedain.
We're all bros now.
And I think they're not going to take Merry just because of the sheer danger of this particular mission.
Because he won't wake the fuck up. Like,
it doesn't help.
That guy over there, he got a full night's sleep. I haven't had a full night's sleep in months.
Sorry, I'm not an immortal elf or a 300-year-old dwarf, But this is where Merry is going to go with Theoden back to Edoras for the muster of Rohan, because as you remember from the Two Towers, before they set out to go to fight Saruman, he called for a general muster of all troops to meet at Edoras. Their plan was to go deal with Saruman, and then he knew he was going to be riding for Gondor. He does not wait for the beacons to be lit in the books.
He doesn't cry a little bit about where was Gondor when the Westfold fell.
Protecting
which
the
it
Eastfold.
didn't fall, right?
No.
The Westfold would be
No.
where where Saruman is. I think we looked at this on a map last time.
So I think what they're saying, so in the movie and the book, there is the ford of the River Isen, which is a critical choke point. It's the only place where an army with a supply train could possibly cross the River Isen for miles, for hundreds of miles. So the riders of Rohan are holding that. Oh yeah, they do build a small bridge that they can get some people across, and that's how they
they circle around, and that helps them take the ford.
Yeah. So they're holding the ford of the River Isen, Rohan is, and Theoden is going to reinforce that. In the book and the movie, the orcs break through that defense before Theoden can reinforce it. In what is described as a mistake in the books, the orcs immediately break ranks and start raiding the countryside.
Yeah.
Which gives Theoden time to get into Helm's Deep.
Yeah, they also failed to destroy the Rohirrim at the ford. They scattered them, but a bunch of them got rallied to Gandalf, and then they joined that battle.
Yeah. So it was an unmitigated disaster and mismanagement on Saruman's part. In the movie, it's all over the place. Peter Jackson really doesn't care about getting the military engagements. He doesn't care about getting the military engagements right. And I think even he'd tell you that. Like he just, that wasn't a priority at all. So Merry is going to go with Theoden.
Yeah.
And this is the scene where he offers Theoden his service.
Yeah, much like Pippin did to Denethor last chapter.
Yep. And
should be mentioned that Merry is feeling kind of useless because one of his defining features was being the level-headed hobbit, which means, that's why he's not in Gondor right now, and being Frodo's best bro, which sorry, buddy, you're solid second place in that department now.
So he's like, I pledge my sword, and Theoden's like, you know what? I got you. I got a pony you can have. I got and then he says one of my favorite lines, because he's just like, this is my bro. This is my little bro. He's like, Eomer, do you have, is there any war gear in this place that my esquire can use? Or that my sword thane can use? He's like, Merry, you'll be my esquire. And then he's like, get me some war gear for my sword thane. And I was like, God, that's so Beowulf. Elmer's like, well, he's the size of a fucking 8-year-old, so I can get him like maybe a helm. I think I got a helm that'll fit over his big head. And Mary's like, that's okay. I've already got a sword, a magic sword, kind of. And he pledges his fealty to Theoden, and they ride off. Now, Theoden is going to go through a more circuitous route to get to Edoras. And I think the reason he's doing that is mostly, at this point, they kind of don't want to advertise big troop movements as much as possible.
Yeah, that was my takeaway. He doesn't exactly spell it out, but that was my assumption.
Yeah. Whereas Aragorn and his 30 Dunedain, they're just going to ride straight there.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They're just 30 dudes. What can they do? Am I right?
There's 30 dudes. Well, and I think he also wants to be seen. He wants the attention on him.
Yeah. That's going to be his thing for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm looking through my notes real quick.
They mention again that the Dunedain have paid dearly to keep the Shire safe and secure for a long time now.
Yes, they are the ones who have been keeping all of the things roaming the countryside out, which is one of the things Frodo found out when he left Bree, was that actually it's pretty freaking dangerous out there. Country's not as safe as it used to be. Before Theoden leaves, he and Aragorn have a talk, and Aragorn's like, okay, so how long do you think it's going to take for the Rohan army to get moving? How long are the Rohirrim going to be? Like, what do you think? Like 8 hours? Maybe a day? And Theoden's like, it's going to be like 3 days till we can even start.
Try again. Wrong.
Aragorn's like, oh dear. Well, I'm going for the paths of the dead. And this is another Tolkien thing where everybody he meets is going to be like, the paths of the dead. Nobody will tell us what the paths of the dead are, but everybody we meet is going to be like, don't go there. People die.
Even Theoden was like, well, I probably won't ever see you again, but if I do.
No, it's Eomer. He goes, alas, Aragorn, my friend.
That's who it was.
I had hoped we should ride in war together, but if you seek the paths of the dead, then our parting has come, and it is little likely that we shall ever meet again under the sun.
And yeah, that's how the story goes. Aragorn goes to the paths of the dead, and he dies in this chapter, and
the fucking ghost's there, and he dies. And we get the line about the Shire. The Dunedain are cool about it. They see the Hobbit, Merry in this case, and they're like, you know what? They're pretty cool. And they grow all of our tobacco. So that's all right with me.
Can we plant that somewhere else, though? Like, can we get some of those seeds? Is the climate down
they're
south?
Actually, I know the answer to this. Because Tolkien wrote extensively about the tobacco plant.
God damn it. Why did I open my big mouth?
The plant that they grow is actually native to Gondor and the areas around it. But the people of Gondor never thought to smoke it. They grow it mainly as a decorative flower.
That was an error in judgment on your part. So let's start smoking it.
Always try smoking everything. You never know what you might get.
No. Have your friends smoke everything and then tell you how it goes, and then you can decide.
Yeah, and then
scientific method.
Gimli and Legolas are like, so where are we going? And Aragorn's like, okay, I looked into the Orthanc stone, and they're like, oh shit, you're not supposed to do that. He's like, no, it's my stone. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
And
I can do what I want.
And he's like, but we're going to the paths of the dead. And
the paths of the dead?
He's like,
well, oh my god.
Is that like how they named Iceland?
Where all the living people go?
That's where the living people go. No, this one's pretty well named. This is where he mentions that he's trying to get Sauron to freak out, basically. He's trying to convince him we have the ring. It's bluff. And Gimli says, Sauron wields great dominion nonetheless, and now he will strike more swiftly. And Aragorn replies that the hasty stroke goes oft astray.
Same, dog. I feel that.
He said, when I had mastered the stone, I learned many things. A grave peril I saw coming unlooked for upon Gondor from the south that will draw off great strength from the defense of Minas Tirith. If it is not countered swiftly, I deem the city will be lost ere 10 days be gone. And Gimli's like, okay, well then it's lost, buddy, because I don't know where you're going to get another army to go fight. And that's when he says, that's why we're going to the paths of the dead.
The paths of the dead?
Of the dead.
Jesus, are you sure?
It is a fell name and little liking to the men of Rohan, as I saw. Can the living use such a road and not perish? Just asking for a friend.
Well, you don't have to come. You're allowed to go a different way.
He's like, well, Aragorn says that he got another message through Aragorn, or gosh, why am I getting their names mixed up? Aragorn got another message.
See, it's not just me.
Yeah. Aragorn got another message from Elrond's sons. And they said, remember the words of the seer in the paths of the dead. And Legolas asks, what were the words of the seer? And Aragorn quotes, thus spoke Malbeth the seer in the days of Arvidui, last king at Fornost. That's the king, by the way, that Bilbo, or that Bilbo refers to when he's like, they don't even remember the king in these parts.
Oh,
It's not a mistake. He wrote a whole thing for it.
Of course, it wasn't a mistake. He had to then hastily
It wasn't a weird anachronism. The king the hobbits were talking about was Arvidui, the last king at Farnost, and he had a seer who said some stuff. Yeah,
that was always the plan from the beginning, and you're the idiot. Okay,
would a guy who didn't exist have a poem? Hear this. Over the land there lies a long shadow, westward reaching wings of darkness. The tower trembles to the tombs of kings. Doom approaches, the dead awaken. For the hour is come for the Oathbreakers. At the stone of Erech they shall stand again, and hear there a horn in the hills ringing. Whose horn shall it be? Who shall call them? From the gray twilight, the forgotten people. It's a wordy poem. The air of him.
That's so you know he exists extra hard.
Yeah. Would a guy who didn't exist have a poem this long? The air of him whom the oath they swore. From the north he shall come. Need shall drive him. He shall pass the door to the paths of the dead. And Gimli's like, wow, this sounds really fucking creepy. And Legolas is like, I'll go. I'm not afraid of dead guys. I'm not afraid of dead humans. You ever seen a dead elf? Oh, wouldn't want to mess with that. But a dead human? Now, what could it be? Like twice as strong as a human? That's nothing to an elf.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure elves probably just don't give a fuck, right?
That's what he says. He's like, I will also come, for I do not fear the dead. I wrote a note next to it that said, well, that must be fucking nice for you. I guess. I'd be a little off put, but okay, I guess you're just fine with it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not all of us can be immortal, ageless beings. My bad.
Yeah. And Legolas is probably like, and you should be sorry. You're kind of taking up a lot of our land.
Your land. Sorry, this is our land. You were supposed to stay on your side of the ocean, friend.
And then the wild men are like, your land? We haven't even gotten to like the weird forest people yet.
Oh God, we haven't?
No. You don't remember the weird forest people who show Theoden a secret road?
No, I don't.
Oh, you gotta get ready to meet some hippies, buddy.
Oh God, we need to wipe them out. Down to the last man. Sorry, you're done.
Aragorn
I'm drafting you.
No, he gives them their land. He gives them their land.
That's how that works, actually.
That's what he does. He declares that their land is their land. So Aragorn goes over what the oath was that these dead men had swore that they broke. Basically, they were.
I think I named both of them Eowyn, actually, because here it says Eowyn is here.
Yep. Well, so the oath that they broke was these guys were men of the mountains who lived on this mountain that would come to be known as the Path of the Dead. It wasn't the Path of the Dead yet. It was just like John's house.
Cool mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, and the guy said, so Isildur went up to him and he said, "Hey, pretty cool rock here. The Stone of Eric. Maybe it came from Numenor. It's very shiny. It's a pure onyx black stone, reflective. Don't have a lot of those. We're going to swear oaths on it." I tried looking this up. Everywhere I could. I could find some early drafts where this stone was like a big palantir. That's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate if it would.
Yeah. No, he changed his mind. It's a stone that they brought from Numenor. I have no idea what it does. I'll tell you what, though, you swear an oath on it, you break that oath, it might turn you into a ghost. So these guys, they were like, Isildur's like, "Hey, let's swear oaths to each other on this stone. If I need you to fight, you come fight for me. And in exchange, I won't kill you. I'm in charge now."
Kind of sounds like we're getting fucked here.
Well, if it sounds like you're getting fucked now, wait till you see what happens if you don't swear the oath. Because y'all, you are like Stone Age, okay?
Oh boy, that's just mean.
we were on the verge of steam ships.
Why do you even Numenor need us to fight then? Like,
well, we fucked it up.
We tried to fight God. Look, it's not that important, all right?
One thing led to another. We fucked it up, okay? But I still have enough technology to kick the shit out of you and everyone you've ever met. So why don't you just look at my shiny rock and swear an oath, okay? And they do that. And then Sauron comes back and Isildur's like, "Hey, we're going to fight. It's the last alliance of men and elves. It's going to be a big deal, guys. You better come on." And they were like, Sauron, huh? So here's the thing, Sauron. When he was around here before you guys came back, we kind of worshipped him as a god. Whoops. And you guys mentioned that you tried to fight a god once. And that didn't work for you. He's like, "Well, no, not Sauron. We kicked his ass. We can kick his ass again. Come on." They're like, "Yeah, we'll meet you there." But then they didn't meet him there.
They stood him up.
Isildur cursed them. "Thou shalt be the last king, and if the West prove mightier than thy black master, this curse I lay upon thee and thy folk, to rest never until your oath is fulfilled."
So you guys better hope that, first of all, you better hope we lose, but if we don't lose, you better hope that somehow Sauron returns.
Well, I guess in theory, the oath was just to fight for him, so...
Okay.
This is kind of a Tom Bombadil situation, yeah.
I need you to go fight Tom Bombadil.
Aragorn's got one favor, is what I'm saying. He's got one favor from these guys. He could call on them to fight Al-Qaeda, perhaps. But he went for Sauron.
Can you fucking imagine?
Old GW's like, "I'm breaking the big guns. I call you to hold your oaths." Oh, no. Now that's the kind of non sequitur that they hate.
Yeah. Sucks to suck, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, so Theoden is going to take slower paths, and Aragorn will reach Edoras first, and he does. And then we get
Eowyn.
Yeah, we get.
It is Eowyn. Yes,
it is Eowyn, the Lady Eowyn.
Oh, because Eowyn and Eomer. All right, I got it.
Eowyn, if it helps you remember it, Eo is horse, You will notice that in a lot of the Rohan names. It is Old English for horse. And Winne is friend in Old English.
Aw, she's a horse friend.
Yeah.
She's just a little furry.
Well, I think in Rohan it pays to be a horse friend. That's like your whole economy. I think Peter Jackson makes a lot of this one line. I underlined it. Lady Eowyn greeted them and was glad of their coming, for no mightier men had she seen than the Dunedain and the fair sons of Elrond.
Yeah.
But on Aragorn, most of all, her eyes rested. This is literally the second time she's ever seen him in the books.
But man, what a chest. You know what I mean? So broad, thick.
And when they sat at supper with her, they talked together, and she heard of all that had passed since Theoden rode away, concerning which she only had hasty tidings of. And when she heard of the battle in Helm's Deep, and the great slaughter of their foes, and of the charge of Theoden and his knights, then her eyes shone. So we'll go a little further with this. She will go on to say, that well, first he's got to be like, I'm going to the paths of the dead, and she's like, the paths of the dead.
Of course, everyone has to say it.
Yeah. She's like, they don't suffer the living to pass, and he's like, they will suffer me, which is what he says in the movie. Well, in the book he says they may suffer me to pass, which is a little less intense.
Yeah. I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
He's going to go on this. So keep in mind that, yes, Eowyn's gaze lingered on Aragorn. Yes, that happened.
Yeah.
Mostly she seems to be glad to see what look like badasses. Insanely tough soldiers. And you can imagine...
Especially not orcs.
Yeah, you can imagine in her position a lot of reasons she might be glad to see insanely tough soldiers showing up on her side. And her eyes shine when she's told stories of Theoden and his knights riding out on their epic charge and doing great deeds of valor. Like she's like really into that story. And they have a surprisingly, like, I thought, well-written exchange. She says that you are a stern lord and resolute, and thus do men win renown. Lord, she said, if you must go, let me ride in your following, for I am weary of skulking in the hills and wish to face peril in battle. And Aragorn is like, oh, well, there's a lot of reasons I gotta say no to this. First of which being, you're kind of like, I'm trying to be the king of Gondor. The king of Rohan is going to be my neighbor. And I can't, like, steal his favorite niece. Second, you're in charge here. Like, you're the regent. He left you in charge. I can't just take you away. And doing all of this without Theoden's permission would be really inappropriate, like really politically not a good move. And he tries to explain that to her, and she says, too often have I heard of duty, but am I not of the house of Eorl, a shield maiden and not a dry nurse? I have waited on faltering feet long enough. Since they falter no longer, it seems.
What is a dry nurse?
Not a wet nurse.
Okay. That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's saying basically she is a dry nurse, meaning she would be your standard nurse, and also never married, never had a child.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Yeah.
She says, may I not now spend my life as I will? And Aragorn says, no, you can't. None of us can. Nobody gets to do that. It's medieval times. What are you talking about? Like, he does say, few may do that with honor. But did you not accept a charge to govern the people until their lord's return? if you had not been chosen, then someone else would have been, and they would not have been able to ride away whether they wanted to or not. Like, you talk about, he's kind of trying to throw her arguments back in her face. He's kind of trying to say, like, you don't want to be treated like a princess, but you want to run away from a duty that you were assigned. No man here could do that. And she doesn't take that very well. She said, "Oh, shall I always be the one chosen then? Shall I always be left behind when the riders depart, to mind the house while they win renown and find food and beds when they return?" And Aragorn tried. Now he's like, "Okay, I pissed her off. And try to make this. Try to go a different route." He says that the day may come soon when there will be need of valor without renown, for none will be alive to remember the deeds that are done in last defense of the homes. Yet your deeds will not be less valiant because they are unpraised. And she's like, she calls bullshit on that too. She says, "All your words are but to say, you are a woman and your part is in the house. But when the men have died in battle and honor, you may have leave to be burned in the house, for the men will need it no more. But I am of the house of Eorl, and not a serving woman. I can ride and wield a blade, and I do not fear either death or pain." And this is the line from the movie. "What do you fear, lady?" he asked. "A cage. To stay behind bars until use and old age accept them, and all chance of doing great deeds is gone beyond recall or desire." And I don't know. I found that exchange a lot more interesting than the exchange that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Eowyn's got, when Aragorn talks about duty and honor, I honestly kind of forgot how she responded. And like, he made a couple of points that are technically true. And she, like, the first one is, if any man here, it's not necessarily about gender. If any man here had been assigned this post, he would not be free to leave when he wanted. And she's like, "Oh yeah, fuck that. No, it's always me. I'm always the one he puts in charge. I'm always the one who stays home. If I don't move, it's not going to happen." And then when Aragorn tries a different tactic of, somebody's going to need to defend the women and children after everybody dies, and she's like, "Oh, after everybody dies, then I have your permission to die because you don't need the house anymore because you're done with me. Then when you're dead, then I can die." And I was like, "Ooh, that is a counter argument I would not have thought to lob if I were her." And I was like, I don't know. It's interesting imagining J.R.R. Tolkien writing that. I know it's not like the best culture out there for women, but medieval culture was worse. And this is kind of like Rohan is Anglo-Saxon stuff. So there were shield maidens, and there were women did have certain rights, but I don't know. I thought it was oddly progressive when compared to her role in the movie. That she is motivated to, in the movie, she's still motivated to fight out of a desire to fight. But they make it this thing about, like, I should be allowed to fight for my friends. I should be allowed to protect people. And in this one, Eowyn's like, no, fuck that. Fuck your protect the women and children shit. If you all die, we're all dead. It doesn't matter. Nobody needs to be here to protect them. If that line crumbles, it's over. I should have the chance to get my glory. Like she wants the things a warrior wants. She wants the things like Beowulf wants in Beowulf. She wants renown. She wants victory in arms. She's not out there just to, like, anonymously protect or whatever. She wants to be a fighter, and she wants that a lot more than she wants Aragorn.
Yeah, no, she doesn't really seem to care much about him in that way at all.
No, I think that this later conversation paints the earlier, like, on Aragorn, her eyes landed most of all, not so much because she's thinking about any kind of romantic relationship with him, but she's like, this is a guy. This is a guy who's going to get into some shit. Like, this is a guy I could follow. I think that's really, like, she's recognizing, like, his kingly qualities, not necessarily his manly qualities.
Yeah.
And she wants
Age of Man.
And I think the thing is, she sees all, and it also casts the way she sees these soldiers in a different light. She's like, oh, these Dunedain, the sons of Elrond, like, these are the best of the best. I want in.
No.
I want, yeah. And she gets rejected, and it hurts her not because she's been romantically rejected, but because he's trampling on, like, her whole life's goal. And he even knows it. Like, it goes on.
Yeah, he feels really bad about it, but no, he doesn't have the authority to make that decision.
So when the next day comes, she goes to see him off, and she was clad as a rider, girt with a sword. In her hand she bore a cup and set it to her lips and drank a little, wishing them good speed. Then she gave the cup to Aragorn, and he drank. Farewell, Lady of Rohan. I drink to the fortunes of your house. And then it seemed to Gimli and Legolas, who were nearby, that she wept. And in no one so stern and proud that seemed more grievous. But she said, Aragorn, wilt thou go? He said, I will. She said, then wilt thou not let me ride with this company as I have asked? And he says, I will not, lady, for I could not grant that without the leave of the king and of your brother, and they will not return until tomorrow, but I count now every hour, indeed every minute. Farewell. And then she falls on her knees and says, I beg thee. And he says, no. And he kisses her hand, and he gets on his horse, and he rides off, and he doesn't look back. And it says those who knew him well saw the pain that he bore. And anyone who dares to look back sees Eowyn stood still as a figure carven in stone, her hands clenched at her side, and she watched them until they passed over the Dwemerborg. And basically until they're out of sight, she's just standing there, fists clenched. I don't know. I feel like that's more feminist than the book. And you get Aragorn, who's like
in the movie,
or yeah, more feminist than the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you get Aragorn, who's like when she falls on her knees and begs, you could tell he's just like, oh Jesus, you're like he's like, what do you want me to do? Like, you're putting me in a hell of a spot, lady. Like, literally, I take away Theoden's favorite niece. You're like a daughter to him. I take you away without his permission, he's going to kill me. Like, that's not going to be the best thing for the alliance of Gondor and Rohan, you know? And she's like, well, so they make it to the haunted mountain and the gate of the haunted mountain. And Gimli, his blood runs chill. The dark door gaped before them.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain what the hell this is, because...
Yeah, so my understanding is basically that this is a mountain, door carved in the mountain, and they're going to go through these tunnels, up some stairs, wind around, and then, or basically they're going through a tunnel and coming out on the other side of the mountain in a valley. And where it gets confusing is the point where they exit the tunnel is not well defined.
No.
It feels like the tunnel is a kind of weird liminal space. That's how Tolkien keeps describing it. It's ghostly. It's like when they look up in the tunnel, they see stars. It doesn't feel like they're under a mountain, and time passes weird. Gimli mentions he sees the night sky even though it's definitely daylight outside. And eventually they're in a village, in a vale.
Yeah.
And I take that to mean, and this is just my interpretation, that the paths of the dead are a tunnel through the mountain. And when you're there, you're kind of between worlds. And when you're out, you don't know you're out until you're out. And it's even said that with, like, after they exit this liminal space, they encounter a village, and it is a village of normal human people who just happen to live. They live on the other side of the paths of the dead.
As you do, yeah.
This isn't it's probably a pretty safe place. Nobody's raiding it. They don't go through the paths of the dead. There's this tunnel. The tunnel is what's off limits, not necessarily what's on either side of it. And the people in this vale see Aragorn and his Dunedain coming out, and following them, ghostly, shadowy figures that are kind of half there, half not.
They're not the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob.
They're not the Flying Dutchman from SpongeBob. There's not a big mountain of skulls that falls.
Yeah.
It's very creepy and subtle. It's Aragorn walks out.
I knew that the mountain of skulls wasn't going to be in this, but I was like, "Oh, there's a village here?"
Well, this is
what? This
is where it's from Gimli's perspective. So Gimli's walking through, and this is where he says the line that, like, here is the thing unheard of: an elf will go underground when a dwarf dares not. They ride through in single file, and all the while Gimli's just looking around. And they start to get the sense that something's following them while they're in the tunnel. As they enter the tunnel, they get to a certain point, and Aragorn just yells into the distance. And he said, "Hither shall fall the flowers of Simbelmine, come never unto the world's end. 9 mounds and 7 there are now, green with grass. And though all the long years he has lain at the door, he could not yet unlock it. Whither does it lead? Why would he pass?" He's looking at a body. "None shall ever know, for that is not my errand," he cried. "Keep your hoards and your secrets hidden in the accursed years. Speed only we ask. Let us pass and then come. I summon you to the stone of Eric." And with that, that's the speech. He doesn't talk to the Flying Dutchman. There's no mountain of skulls. Nobody swings their sword at him. He makes that speech. Nothing answers him. And they just walk on.
I thought they did answer.
There was no answer, unless it were an utter silence more dreadful than the whispers before. And then a chill blast came in which the torches flickered and went out and could not be rekindled. Of the time that followed, 1 hour or many, Gimli remembered little. The others pressed on, but he was ever hindmost, pursued by a groping horror that seemed always just about to seize him.
I'm thinking the stone. When they get to the stone,
when they get to the stone, they do talk.
Okay.
So there's no answer at this point. And their torches go out, and Gimli's wandering in the dark, all the while just the sense that something's following them.
Yeah. You don't have dark vision now, do you, asshole?
I thought the exact same thing. I was like, oh, must suck for a dwarf and an elf not to have their goddamn dark vision. while all the humans have to carry a torch. But you know what? Aragorn's a Dunedain, so he's probably got dark vision because everybody has dark vision. And if you're a DM, you're like, why the fuck do they even make torches? Don't laugh at me, Shy.
I mean, I'm okay if you want to give me dark vision.
I'm not giving you dark vision.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
To be fair, I don't think Renaxus can see in the dark either. I actually don't think Shy can see in the dark. What are you laughing at? Halflings don't have dark vision either. So they ride to the stone, and the dead follow them. And the people of this village, they see the Dunedain emerge. They see Aragorn leading them, this magnificent kingly figure, and an army of the dead at his back. And they scream that the king of the dead has returned. And they hide, and bells ring. And they walk to a hill where lies the stone of Eric, and they have a little chat. Aragorn dismounts, and standing by the stone, he cries in a great voice, "Oathbreakers, why have ye come?" And they don't say, "None may command me but the king of Gondor," and try to smack him with a sword. They say, "To fulfill our oath and have peace." And Aragorn says, "The hour is come at last. Now I go to Pelargir upon Anduin, and ye shall come after me. And when all this land is clean of the servants of Sauron, I will hold the oath fulfilled." And he says that he is Elisar, Isildur's heir.
And then do they travel further by the end of this chapter?
Let's see, how far do they make it? They came to Callambel upon Kirill, and the sun went down. The township and the fords of Kirill they found deserted, for many men had gone away to war, and everyone else had fled at the rumor of the coming of the king of the dead. The Grey Company passed on into darkness of the storm of Mordor. So they have at least come to the point where Sauron's storm clouds are blocking out the sun.
Okay, yeah, because my final point was like the end of the chapter, they travel like hundreds and hundreds of miles.
So basically, there are mountains that kind of divide the north and south, with Gondor being in the south, Rohan being more northwest, and Aragorn is going straight through the mountains. He's taking a tunnel basically, and he's getting on the south side of the mountain range to get along towards Minas Tirith. But they do still have a good ways to go. They got at least another day or two. Oh, but he's not really going to Minas Tirith right away. He's going down the river.
Yeah, he's gonna get rid of the Corsairs.
Yeah. So that makes sense. He's actually pretty close to the Corsairs. Probably just a day. Oh, yeah.
All right.
That's the passing of the Grey Company. Anything else? Any weirdness or anything you noticed?
No, I think I got all in my notes.
Yeah, the only thing I could think is that the language in this chapter, when it's not a conversation between hobbits, it gets real saga-like. The word order is very Old English, very Old Norse. He uses somewhat dated terminology. So it's interesting. I like the way he shifts his writing style like that. I don't remember quite as much of that, though I'm sure it actually winds up. Not that Tolkien would care. This is what I love about him as an author. I'm sure it puts a lot of people off. I'm sure a lot of people hate.
Good.
Start talking Old English. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Good. It's not for you. It's for me.
Yeah.
Stay out, Normie. And with that act of gatekeeping, I guess we'll end the episode.
Goddamn right.
Fuck off, Normies.
The road goes ever on and on, down from the door where it began. Now far ahead the road is gone, and I must follow it, if I can, pursuing it with eager feet until it joins some larger way, where many paths and errands meet. And whither then, I cannot say.